Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the show, The Balancing Act. We're always happy you could join us. And you know, ladies, I've always wanted to ask you something.
Yes.
If you could, now this is a great question. If you could be anybody for one day, who would it be?
Honey, forgive me. George Clooney's assistant.
Oh, I thought you were going to say George Clooney. That wouldn't be a bad thing either.
George Clooney's assistant for one day. Only one day, honey. Only one day.
No, he'll forgive you for that one day. You know, that's a great question because for me, I've always wanted to be a singer. I don't sing well.
I thought of a singer.
I've always wanted, so I love Jennifer Nettles, the country singer. She's awesome. The things she does with her voice.
I would just love to be able to
Who
do
would
that
you
for
be?
one
I thought of
day.
a singer because I've always wanted to be like on Broadway singing or in front of 10,000 people.
We should have known that.
Broadway? Yeah, and I can't.
Okay.
So, but it would be Barbara Streisand.
Oh, wow, that's a great one.
She is amazing to me.
Great one. Good one.
All right.
Good one.
I'm still going with George Clooney's assistant. Okay.
But if it's a man, I'll take George Clooney.
All right, but the balancing act, what does it do? It starts right.
That's right.
Stay right where you are. All right, so when it comes to looking like a celebrity, there are just a few trade secrets those of us in front of the camera use. So today on our Eye on Beauty segment, we are sharing some insider information, yes we are, with renowned hair loss expert Dr. Alan Bauman. Welcome, doctor, good to see you.
Good to see you too, Danielle. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. We've been doing a lot of talking off camera. Very interesting subject matter. Now we're bringing it on camera because, you know, you and I know how much work goes into really getting camera ready. Lots of stars and talk show hosts, wink, wink, have to do a lot to make ourselves look like this before we walk out here. I mean, people supplement with hair pieces and extensions and everything else, but I have to tell you, at the end of the day, is there nothing more beautiful than a gorgeous head of hair?
You're absolutely right. They've got a lot of help.
Okay.
Let me tell you, from nutritionals that are pharmacy grade to special prescription medications to the latest state-of-the-art low-level laser devices, diagnostics, testing, to minimally invasive hair transplant surgery to keep them looking good.
I love it. So I want to talk about something that does affect a lot of women, hair loss. It's a very real issue. Something like 30 million women have thinning hair. So what are some of the treatment options and diagnosis for women suffering from hair loss?
Well, it all starts with the right diagnosis. So if you have some thinning hair problems, whether it's a diminishing ponytail volume or receding hairline, you've got to get an examination by a physician. We have diagnostics like genetic testing. We have microscope analysis to look at density and hair caliber. And so then it comes down to measuring the quantity and quality of hair with something like the hair check device. That's something that we do in our medical offices day in and day out to help patients understand how much hair they have growing in different areas.
Always good.
And also their response to treatments.
When I saw this, I'm thinking, okay, we've got a little mannequin here with a little cap on, but it's a little more involved than that.
Yeah, so we talked a little bit about low-level laser therapy. Your viewers may be familiar with the handheld devices, but this is the laser cap, and let me show you.
Sure.
This is as powerful as our in-office laser hood devices. It has over 200 diodes inside, but the beautiful thing about this is they can use it at home, anywhere, anytime. So you can get your non-chemical, non-invasive, side effect-free treatment for thicker, better, healthier growing hair wherever, whenever you want to.
Wherever, and you put your baseball cap. If you're not comfortable with that, you can put a beautiful scarf.
Scarf can go over it. You can do it in your car, on your bike, while you're answering email.
Here's the thing, though. I understand that we can lose, what is it, 50% of our hair volume before it's even noticeable to the human eye?
Right. Yes, that's right. So it's all about the density, right? If you could lose a little bit of density year by year and still look okay. And that's why an evaluation by a physician is so important. So the measurement tools and techniques that we talked about help us prevent the hair loss process by taking action early.
So we talked about all the diagnostics and you know, different procedures. What about hair transplants? Because that's what a lot of people think about when they think about thinning hair is transplants.
Correct. So the latest and greatest hair transplant procedure is called NeoGraft, FUE. And NeoGraft is a tool that helps us extract individual hair follicles, literally one at a time if we need to, from the back of the scalp without cutting with a scalpel without having to put stitches. And we can reimplant those living and growing follicles in the thinning or the balding area. Today's transplants are 100% undetectable. You should never be able to tell the difference between a well-performed artistic hair transplant and a hairline that Mother Nature gave you. Prevention is so important, and enhancing the growth from the hair follicle.
I'm going to make a confession here. I have great brows from here to here, then I have no brows, very little sparse brows from plucking, because you get your brows done every couple of weeks. But I know that you pioneered this great new technique that can help us really get the ultimate Hollywood lashes and brows. Tell me about that.
Correct. Well, eyelash transplant and eyebrow transplants are available. We take the individual hair follicles, again, from the back of the scalp, and we can place them comfortably into the brow area or the eyelash area where they'll live and grow permanently.
Well, how long will they grow? That's a good question, right? Because you're thinking, are you going to have to be cutting it?
Well, Danielle, you do. Yeah, eyelash and eyebrow transplants come with scissors because they do grow long. But that's part of the fun of it. You can let your lashes grow as long as you want.
Beautiful.
You can curl them and style them and so forth. But yes, you will probably have to trim them.
All right, so good note to know. Well, I have to tell you, we've learned a lot here today, so thank you so much for coming by.
Thanks, Danielle.
Thanks for having me. It was a pleasure meeting you. And if you'd like to learn more about what you've seen today, plus lots more ways to get healthier, fuller hair or lashes or brows, simply head to the website, BaumanMedical.com.
As you know, a healthy lifestyle helps prevent a multitude of health issues, including, for example, high cholesterol. But now the unimaginable. This morning, in our ongoing series, Behind the Mystery, Rare and Genetic Diseases, we're going to discuss an inherited condition which can be extremely dangerous and sometimes even deadly. Our guest this morning is Dr. Pam Morris, a cardiologist with the Medical University of South Carolina. Good morning, doctor.
So good to see you.
I'm so glad you're here. Let's get to it. Let's first talk about cholesterol. What causes it and what can be done when you have it?
Well, first, it's important to recognize that there are two types of cholesterol. The HDL, which is the good cholesterol, the happy cholesterol, which you would like to be high. It helps to clear cholesterol. And the second is the LDL cholesterol, which is the bad form of cholesterol, lousy.
That's how
you want that low. And that type is the type of cholesterol that can, when at elevated levels, can circulate through the bloodstream and cause heart and vascular disease. Unfortunately, for many people, diet and exercise are not always enough to get these levels down.
And why is that?
Well, some individuals have a rare or uncommon form of high cholesterol that it is inherited. This is called familial hypercholesterolemia, and there are two types. In the first type, you inherit only one gene from one parent that is abnormal. That is called heterozygous FH, heterozygous familial hypercholesterolemia. The second type is when you inherit an abnormal gene from both of your parents. We call this homozygous FH or HoFH. The signs and symptoms are very difficult to diagnose and may be silent.
And how do you know if you have it, for example?
Well, first, it's important that it be recognized and that you work with a cardiologist or lipidologist who specializes in this disorder. They're going to look at four things. Number one, do you have a family history of high cholesterol or heart and vascular disease? Second, what are your personal cholesterol levels? Are they elevated? Third, they're going to look for physical findings. Do you have deposits of cholesterol in the tendons of the knees, the elbows, the Achilles, or around the eyes? And finally, they're going to look to see how well do you respond to traditional cholesterol-lowering medications.
Doctor, what if you have all four, or let's just say you have 2 out of the 4?
Well, it's not necessary to have all 4 criteria. There's quite a variability in the presentation and diagnosis of HoFH.
And if you do have this uncommon genetic disorder, is there something people can do to help control it?
Well, of course, we do always begin with diet and exercise because it can always be of some help. For some individuals, we'll try what's called LDL apheresis. Think of it as almost like dialysis for cholesterol, but that's That's time consuming, and the centers that perform this procedure are not widely available.
Doctor, is there anything else that can be done, let's say medications?
Well, now there are novel therapies for patients with HoFH, so it's a very exciting time for these individuals.
I got to tell you, this is great and exciting information. I want you to stay right there, doctor, because when we come back, we're going to put a face to this condition. You're going to meet an incredible young lady with an amazing story to tell, so stay right there. We'll be right back. Welcome back to the show. Before the break, we were discussing HoFH, a rare disease that results in high cholesterol. We are rejoined by Dr. Pam Morris, a cardiologist with the Medical University of South Carolina, and also now joining us are 20-year-old Amanda Wilson and Catherine Wellman, who is the president of the FH Foundation. Ladies, thank you so much for joining us. Doctor, thank you for joining me again. Amanda, let me start with you. When did you find out you had this rare disease?
Well, I was diagnosed at age 3, and it was found by my pediatrician. I went into my well checkup at age 3, and he found the cholesterol deposits on my Achilles tendon behind the knee and also between my fingers. My grandfather had it. He found out he was diagnosed at 59, and he was diagnosed and went through triple bypass surgery the same year. At that point, my parents were just getting ready to be married, and my dad was diagnosed at 29. My mom was also later diagnosed.
Doctor, let me bring you back in, because it's funny, when I knew Amanda was coming to talk to us, I pictured, honestly, you know, somebody older, overweight, you know, I guess she didn't fit the profile that I was thinking of.
The face of this condition can vary from anything from a young child diagnosed, as Amanda was in childhood, to a young adult, such as with Catherine, where the disease is missed until you present with your first heart or vascular event.
Catherine, let me bring you in. As the doctor just mentioned about a heart event, something happened to you at the age of 39. What happened? And it's actually startling to hear this.
Well, I had a heart attack.
Wow.
And when it happened, I called 911. I knew something was wrong. The paramedics came. I told them about my elevated cholesterol. They took me to the emergency room, and the emergency room turned me away. Luckily, when I finally did get in surgery, you know, I'm here to live to tell about it, but the interesting thing is there was a barrier because I didn't look like someone who had advanced heart disease.
But you know, doctor, and if I can ask you this, it's pretty serious. I mean, this is just not a, oh, you'll get over it, move on, and that's it.
Well, I think sometimes we can underestimate the risk and danger associated with high cholesterol, and HoFH is a life-threatening disease. We're very fortunate to be here with individuals who are receiving the proper treatment.
Catherine, I know as a result of what happened to you, you've started the foundation to create awareness, and God bless you for that. Tell me about it.
Well, yes, it's called the FH Foundation, and we're the only nonprofit out there exclusively dedicated to raising awareness of FH, both HoFH and the more common form of familial hypercholesterolemia. And we're doing this through education, advocacy, and research, because the startling fact is that more than 80% of the individuals who have this disease are undiagnosed. And
doctor, with Catherine and Amanda speaking about it, and you, this is really key to bring that awareness to everybody out there and just to learn more about this.
It's very important to be tested, particularly if you have a family history of premature heart disease or of high cholesterol. Talk with your doctor.
Amanda, I want to end with you because you're such an inspiration. Any final words?
Even though I am an HoFH patient, I still hang out with my friends, participate in sports. I am an education major at college, and this disease has not stopped me yesterday, today, and it won't stop me tomorrow.
Oh, God bless you. Good luck to you. Thank you so much. And if you'd like more information about HoFH and to learn what you can do to spread the word about this disease, visit a couple of websites. The first one, thefhfoundation.org, or contact the National Lipid Association at learnyourlipids.com.
Well, thanks so much for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed the show.
And don't forget, as always, to keep up with us after the show is over, go to our website, thebalancingact.com, and leave us your feedback there.
Or check us out on Facebook at the Balancing Act Fans and follow us on Twitter. And remember, everybody, find your balance. Have a good one.
Bye, everybody.
So long.